Hello, all wonderful folks. Namaskaram. Friends, many people have been asking about what happens in a typical Toastmasters meeting. What is the role of a Toastmasters of the day? So, friends, let me answer your questions. So, in this video, you will get to know what happens in a typical Toastmasters meeting. Also, you'll get to know about the role of a Toastmasters of the day. In addition to that, I will also try to explain you and demonstrate you how to utilize this wonderful platform of Toastmasters for the greater good of the humanity, and to spread awareness about stuff that world needs the most at the moment. And if you pay enough attention to my video, you will get to know many subtler aspects of it. So friends, recently I have participated in a meeting of a prestigious Toastmaster club in India. So in this video, I'll try to provide you highlight of this meeting. With the help of this meeting, I'll try to explain the answers to your above questions. Implicitly, you'll get your answers. So let me tell about the meeting. Sergeant at Arms for the day. Now, Sergeant at Arms is one of the rule in any Toastmasters meeting. He flagged off the meeting, talking about the mission of the club, the rules for the meeting, and then SA, which is Sergeant at Arms, hands over the control to presiding officer. Presiding officer takes the charge, and presiding officer talks about the overall intent of the meeting, introduces the guests, and hand over the control to Toastmaster of the day. Now, Toastmaster of the day is actually the host of the meeting. It is Toastmaster of the day who does all the background work, background stuff. Coordination from different role players, participants, and he's the person who pivots the meeting. So it has pre-meeting responsibilities associated with Toastmaster of the day. And during the meeting, it is responsibility of the Toastmaster of the day to introduce the audience about the structure of the meeting, the theme of the meeting. So I was Toastmaster of the day in this meeting, and when presiding officer gave this control to me, that's how I started. I said, hello all wonderful folks, dear Toastmasters and distinguished guests. As a Toastmaster of the day, I welcome you all to meeting number X of XYZ Toastmasters Club. Now, let me first talk about the structure of the meeting. We have kept our structure very simple and conventional. Meeting will have three main sections. Number one, we'll have prepared speech section. Number two, we'll have table topic section that will test your abilities of impromptu speaking. And in the end, we'll be having our evaluation section where our evaluators will present their reports on prepared speeches and other technicalities of overall meeting. Now friends, let me introduce the theme of the day to you. Friends, Einstein once said, all knowledge to us has come from the land of Ganges. Oppenheimer, the creator of atom bomb, after successful experimentation of first atomic bomb as a part of Project Manhattan, he spoke few lines from Bhagavad Gita. He said, I have become death, the destroyers of the world. Folks, like most of us, I also grew up getting goosebumps and curiosity while listening to the epics and legends of our ancient India. When I was a kid, my beloved grandmother would feed my mind with a profound mythology and richness of Indian culture, which is reflecting in simply the way our older generations have lived and died. She would talk about 10 avatars of Lord Vishnu, and at one level, its similarity with evolutionary theory proposed by Charles Darwin. She would also talk about why Lord Shiva is also known as Adi Yogi. Any guesses? Can anyone of you tell me why Lord Shiva is known as Adi Yogi? Well, let me tell you. Because he was the first yogi, because he cascaded the profound science of yoga to his seven disciples that today we known as seven sages or Saptarishis, and how these Saptarishis traveled in different parts of the world spreading the knowledge of yoga and how it served as cradle for various civilizations across the world as we know it today. My grandmother would also talk about the legend of Nilkantha. Any guesses? Who is Nilkantha and what is the legend about Nilkantha? Let me tell you. Lord Shiva, in order to save the world, innocently and selflessly drank world's most deadliest poison called Hala Hala, which came out during Samudra Manthana, as legend goes. And as all of this is not enough, my mother used to take the charge. My mother used to bless me with all those great epic tales of ancient Indian legends like Rama and why he is known as Maryada Purushottama and why we bow down to him not for the God he was but for the character he has shown for by not losing his human qualities in all those tough situations that he has faced in his life. It is about understanding that it's not about becoming a superhuman. It is to realize that being human is super. My mother would kindle my nimble mind by talking about ancient science and innovations and making me curious about descriptions of Brahmastra, Pushpak Vimana, other spacecrafts, and other worldly beings as mentioned in Ramayana and Mahabharata. She would also help me meet innocent, naughty, and witty Krishna as a child. Krishna's love for cows and his sacred bond with Radha. How Krishna rose to the occasion and killed Kansa to establish law and order, and how he pivoted himself and played a decisive role in sculpting political, economical, and spiritual landscape of Indian subcontinent as we know it today. Should also guide me into the lap of Gautama the Buddha by chanting Buddham Sharanam Gacchami and by narrating various episodes from the life of Buddha with the help of Jataka tales. And as all of this is not enough, my father would take the charge now. He would make sure to take me on a tour to actually make me visualize and feel the valor, plight, and quest of Maharana Pratap from the land of Rajasthan against Mughals. He would talk about the valor and patriotism of Prithviraj Chauhan, how he defended invasions from northwestern frontier region of India. My father never missed talking about much revered state of the art guerrilla warfare tactics, leadership qualities of Chhatrapati Shivaji, including his vision and strategies to attain complete Swaraj. And he would definitely not miss talking about the glory of Raja Krishna Deva Raya of Vijayanagara Kingdom and Raja Raja Chola of Tamil Nadu region, southern Indian regions of India, how they built magnificent cities and temple complexes for the well-being of the entire generations to come. So clearly, friends, as an obvious consequence, I am sitting here in front of you as Toastmaster of the day, and you are virtually logged with me in this Zoom room. And the theme of the day that you need to bear with me is the legends of ancient India. So, friends, don't blame me, blame my parents and my grandmother. But, friends, let's together revisit the glorious past of India. Friends, I always wish if I could get into a time machine to revisit our ancient India. I want to meet all these magnificent beings. But realizing that this is beyond our capacity at the moment, I discovered a new way to serve the same purpose to an extent. Over past 7 to 8 years, I started utilizing every other opportunity to visit ancient heritage sites of historical and cultural importance in India. Today, I chose to take all of you on a journey through one such ancient Indian heritage site called Hampi. So friends, I'll talk more about Hampi. Talk more about ancient Indian legends, and we will explore it together. But now it's time for me to introduce our general evaluator of the day. And then again, pre-meeting I had this is the theme introduction, and again I switch my gear, and before meeting I have asked all these role players some of the questions that I'm going to talk about now, so to introduce them into the meeting to the audience. So now is the time when Toastmaster of the day, that was me, introducing general evaluator of the day. So I've given him questions, two questions that he has answered like this. When I asked him, and I'm talking in the meeting that way, as a TMOD. So friends, it's time for me to introduce you with the general evaluator of the day. He's a person, when I asked him that one thing you really like about ancient India, he instantly said, since ancient times, India has been a blessed land in terms of natural resources, its climate, and versatile flora and fauna. And when I asked him that one thing that you would like to do in order to reclaim the lost glory of India, thoughtfully he said, I would really like to stop exploitation of Mother Nature because nature is not a resource, it's our mother. He would like to strive continuously towards restoring the balance of ecosystem. So friends, let's welcome our general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster XYZ. Over to you, Toastmaster XYZ. Then it's general evaluator's turn now. General evaluator introduces his role. Also invites tag team. Now TAG. TAG is tag team. T for timer for the meeting. A for counter for the meeting. And G for grammarian for the meeting. These are three other important rules in any Toastmaster meeting. So it is the responsibility of general evaluator to introduce, to call upon the stage tag team members, and then tag team members talk about their own roles and responsibilities and rules. So like time I will talk about that for prepared speech. This is these are the minutes. This is the timeline for table topic. This is the timeline, and he will show the show green, yellow, and red card on these particular timelines. Similarly, our counter and grammarian. Grammarian also talk about the word of the day and idiom of the day that we all try to use it whenever we speak. Then, after tag team's introduction, general evaluator hands over the control to Toastmaster of the day. So back to me now. And I said, thank you for the wonderful introduction, Mr. GE, which is general evaluator, and tag team members. I really appreciate it. And now, friends, it's time for our most awaited prepared speech section. In prepared speech section, today we have got two prepared speeches. Now let me talk about our first speaker. He is someone, when I asked him, one thing you really liked about ancient India, instantly and playfully, he said, their innovative aspect of civilization. And when I asked him, what would you like to do in order to reclaim the lost glory of India? Instantly and practically, he said, I would like to take knowledge transfer from all those folks. So very practical, very ambitious, indomitable. I am talking about our very own Toastmaster XYZ. And the person who is evaluating his speech is someone, when I asked her what you liked about ancient India, she says this, and her questions. Then, yes, I'm talking about Toastmaster XYZ. Then Toastmaster, who is the evaluator for first speaker, he or she will talk about the speech purpose and title of the speech. And then she hands over the control to me. And then I said the title of the speech and the name of the Toastmaster, like title XYZ, Toastmaster Nagarjuna, title XYZ, and all the best. And then speaker one completes his or her speech. Then control back to me. Then again, I will talk about the second speaker and his evaluator. Then second speaker finishes his or her speech, and then control back to me. That's how it goes. Then the prepared speech section ends here. And I said, wow, many wonderful insights and welcome to Toastmaster Universe. All the speakers who have given their icebreaker. So they were speaking for the first time, both of my speakers this time. And then I'll continue with my theme. Friends, earlier this year, in the month of Feb, I got this wonderful opportunity to visit Hampi. Hampi is a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in East Central Karnataka region of India. There was actually a run event conducted over there, and I participated in a 21-kilometer category. Hampi was the capital city of Vijayanagara Kingdom. It was a flourishing kingdom around 13th to 16th century AD and second richest in the world only after Beijing during that period. Raja Krishnadevaraya was one of the prominent ruler ruled over the city. He consecrated the entire city. So basically the entire city in itself is a huge temple complex. Hampi's ruins consist of four peculiar rocks and boulders arrangements defying laws of physics. huge and magnificent temple complexes, pillared halls, monolithic and megalithic structures, water canals, and huge teeth kundams, water tanks, and amazing and beautiful shrines. So it all is spread across within the range of 30-35 square kilometers. When I reached Hampi, friends, I was flabbergasted. The first thing that came to my mind was I felt so proud of our ancestors who lived and died for such great vision and mission, for the entire upcoming generation to reap the benefits of it. Friends, I was astonished by the beauty of it. I was awestruck by the sheer magnitude with which it was built, and instantly I fell in love with Hampi for the purpose with which it was built. It requires altogether different level of humanity, my friends, to build such consecrated spaces for the well-being of the generation to come. So my 21-kilometer run route was designed in such a way that it took me through most of the important sites and structures of Hampi. There were around 700 participants overall from all across India and from abroad as well. During my run, I met many of the runners and could clearly feel the sense of blissfulness within me and within them as well. Whenever we were exchanging glances, with each other, exchanging smiles with each other, I could clearly see a gesture of respect for our ancient Indian ancestors into their eyes. Folks, for me, running through this land of gods was like reliving the history of this great kingdom. Those rocks, walls, temple complexes, great pillared halls, all of the structures, rocks and boulders, to me it felt like they're telling me the tale of their glorious past. And not only that, they were also challenging our generation, asking what you are doing for your future generations. But this is just not it about Hampi. Hampi is much more ancient and a mysterious place, believe me, than what it seems uh, to be like at first glance. So I'll talk more about Hampi. I'll take you to visit mysterious Hampi as well and present you with more facts. But now it's time for our next interesting and mysterious section of this meeting, which is table topics. Now is the time when a Toastmaster of the day invites table topic master. So table topic master takes care about all this impromptu speaking table topic as he comes prepared with some titles, some topics, and ask anybody else to volunteer, or if he wishes, he or she can choose from the audience by calling the name, and everybody who has to come, they'll give the title. The table topic master gives the title, and impromptu he or she has to speak, whoever is volunteering, for around 2 to 3 minutes or 1 to 2 minutes, as we decide, as we all agreed upon in the meeting. After this section is done, table topic master hands control back to the Toastmaster of the day. Then I said, wow, awesome. So many explosions of knowledge and wisdom. Amazing thought process all of you have, I must say. All interesting topics, table topic master. Thank you so much. Now I take the control and I go back to my theme. And I said, I have my own observations and findings about Hampi. Apart from the conventional published work and available facts in the public domain, I have my own observation and my own perception and how I connect the dots. Let me talk about that. Friends, according to Archaeological Survey of India, Hampi predates 3000 to 4000 BCE, that means more than 5000 year old. They found evidences of its existence during Ashokan Empire as well. It's an evident fact that an ancient name of Hampi was Kichikindha, as it was mentioned in Ramayana. And locals believe that it was ruled by Bali and Sugriva, two most prominent characters of Ramayana. Friends, I was stunned by the technology those people have used here to cut stones to build Hampi. Still, scientists have no fathomable clue of how stone cutting happened at such a grand scale and with so much of accuracy, precision, and the intent of it. Vijaya Vithala temple is one such a striking example along with its world famous musical pillars. Evidently, builders of Hampi have mastered stone cutting technology in such a way that they were playing with it. Not only playing with it, they were extracting music out of it. If you strike these musical pillars of Vitala temple, even with your finger, you'll hear different notes. And it's all rhythmic, it's all a pattern, it's not random notes. It was complete systemic design pattern. We do not know how they used it for what purpose, but since they have done so much of work, definitely return of investment that they were seeking is unfathomable in terms of quality and quantity both, I would say. That is for sure. I also observed huge rocks and boulder formations defying almost all physical laws, and it seems like they have been arranged by some external force. They've been there just like that, defying gravity for thousands of years. I will talk about, I will talk more about Hampi, give you more facts, more interesting facts. But now it's time for our evaluators to present their reports, and for that, I would like to hand over the control once again back to our general evaluator. Over to you, Toastmaster, whatever is the person who is playing the role for the general evaluation today. Now, general evaluator invites evaluators of the prepared speeches. Then he or she invites, then general evaluator invites his or her tag team, which means timer, counter, grammar, they present their reports. And in the end, general evaluator himself or herself has to present report about the overall meeting technicalities and whichever way he or she likes. But it should cover the entire meeting in a power view. That's the report. Then general evaluator hands back the control to Toastmaster of the day, which is me. Now, what I said, thank you all. Thank you all evaluators for presenting their reports. This really will help us improve. And friends, I can keep on talking about the glory of ancient India. I can keep on talking about Hampi, but we have very limited time. So that's how I would like to conclude that to me, if poetry is to incarnate through stones, Hampi is that poetry. I believe it's the responsibility of this generation to educate our next generation on our culture and heritage. We need to educate our next generation that our Indian legends are not to be treated like forgotten past or just like any other ordinary history. or as bygoners. In fact, our mythologies and legends are primeval history that has been the foundation for this one and only oldest surviving civilization that we all know as Indic civilization. And I must say, if someone has to explore life in its full depth and dimension, and I'm saying it by experience, explore India, explore Bharata. Do you know where this word Bharata came from? It's deep. It's not just a name like any other country. It's deep. Well, let me tell you. Bharata means bhav, rang, and thala. So bhava means expressions, ranga means melody, and tala means eternal cosmic rhythm like Om, the sound of the Big Bang. So bhava, ranga, tala is Bharata. And of course, it used to come alive through its each and every citizen. So even the name of the country is so deep, so thoughtful. Bhava Rangatala, that's all what ordinary human being is all about. Expressions, melody, that means all this drama, raga, and thala, the sound, eternal sound. And if you just think it deeply, if you just ponder upon this bhava rangatala, you'll see all human aspects, all human existential aspects have been covered in these three words: bhava rangatala, bharata. So, friends, thank you everyone. Thanks for your participation, and I hope you really enjoyed the meeting. I will now sign off as Toastmaster of the day and hand over the control to our presiding officer. And presiding officer comes in and formally closes the meeting with some conclusive remarks. That's how my last meeting as Toastmaster of the day went. I presented you all the highlights, I've given you all the flow, and hopefully we got the answer of the question that people have been asking me about how typically a Toastmasters meeting look like, what is the role of a Toastmaster, and how I am utilizing this wonderful Toastmasters platform for the greater good, to spread awareness about what world needs the most. Hope you liked it. Hit the bell icon. Please don't forget to hit the bell icon and subscribe my channel. And please hit like as well if you really like it. I'll keep on coming with more interesting topics and knowledge, and we keep on interacting. So thank you so much. Namaskar.